Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis. Welcome to today's video. You join me in my new uni digs. I haven't decorated the place yet, there'll be some stuff on this wall, don't worry. Today is going to be Eldar Codex Analysis Episode 3, the HQs. Not the unique HQs, we did those last time. We're going to do the actual unnamed heroes of the Eldar Codex. And there may be a little rant in the middle or towards the end. If that happens, I apologise. If you have missed any of the previous episodes, let me just see if I can just adjust my lighting a tiny bit. If you've missed any of the previous episodes from the series, check the Eldar videos playlist in the description below, or go to Codex Analysis and you can check out either of those to see the entire review so far. But without further ado, let's get into this. We don't have many units, but we have a hell of a lot of pieces of war gear. I've actually had to go and make a notes tab just to do this review. So, first up, we have the Autarch, the most underused, if not best costed, most underused HQ in the Eldar bloody Codex. Or actually, probably in 40k in general. So he's 70 points, weapon skill, ballistic skill 6, strength toughness 3 with 3 wounds, initiative 6, 3 attacks, initiative 10, and a 3+ save. Pretty decent stats, all things considered. You can also get into a Sky Runner, which gives you a point of toughness, and that's about it, and changes his type to Eldar Jetbike, but we'll cover that a little bit later. In his base form, he is infantry. This is a good stat line. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 6, space marine captain's a bit better, strength toughness 3 is a bit meh, 3 wounds, initiative 6, 3 attacks is a tiny bit low, leadership 10, 3+ save, pretty good. He has heavy aspect armor, 3+ save, shuriken pistol, a bolt pistol with pseudo rending, it doesn't work on vehicles, but 6s to wound are AP do. Haywire grenades, very nice, plasma grenades, nice little throwables, strength 4 AP 4, 8-inch range, can't really go wrong there. A force shield, which is basically the Eldar equivalent to the Iron Halo, so 4+ invulnerable save. And if you make him an Autarch Skyrunner, he has an Eldar Jetbike, which we'll come back to. His special rules are Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, covered those in episode 1, check that in the description. Fleet if he's on foot, and independent character. Fleet is kind of nice because with Battle Focus you'll be getting around very much a lot, and there's a detachment that helps that as well, but we're covering that towards the end of the series. His other special rule is the Path of Command. If your army contains one or more Autarchs, or Autarch Skyrunners, which is the Jetbike version, you can modify any of your reserve rolls by + or -1, choose separately after each roll is made. There's one unit you really need to come in and one unit you really need to wait. Modify one by +1, modify the other one by -1. Will only help if you roll a 2, 3 or 4, but it's still useful either way, so definitely worth having. And now we get into the options. Autarchs have a really complicated options list because, is it one of this, one of that, 2 of these? It's a bit weird. Anyway, let's get started. May take one of the following: Warp Jump Generator, Swooping Hawk Wings, or an Eldar Jetbike, turning you into an Autarch Skyrunner. The Warp Jump Generator costs 10 points. It is a jetpack, so you become jetpack infantry. And if your entire unit has them, you may choose to move 2d6 + 6 inches in the movement phase, instead of your usual wandering around like Tau battlesuits do, ignoring terrain, other models, and dangerous terrain. Which is pretty nice, it means you can just teleport. That's basically what you do, you go through the warp and you teleport. If you roll Snake Eyes, so you roll a double 1 on that 2d6, however, one model chosen at random dies. So, this is kind of bad if your Autarch's running around on his own, because if you roll a double 1 for his move, he's dead. Straight up dead. So if you're going to have a warp jump generator, you're going to be bouncing around a lot, put him in a unit of warp spiders. It's probably for the best. I mean, it's still probably going to be a 1 in 6 or a 1 in 11 chance that your Autarch will die, but far better than anything else. So you can't use this big move, however, whilst you're running away. So if you're falling back, tough. Pretty good though, 10 points, can't really complain. The second option, Swooping Hawk Wings, 15 points, and I love these things. They are a jump pack, so you become jump pack infantry, but instead of moving 12 in the movement phase, if your entire unit has Swooping Hawk Wings, you can move 18, because cool things. You can also perform a Sky Leap in the movement phase, provided you did not arrive from reserves on that turn, you aren't in combat, and you aren't falling back. This takes you into ongoing reserves, allowing you to teleport off the board and drop back in again. This is not as good for Autarchs, because you don't have the grenade packs that Swooping Hawks do, but it's still pretty handy to have the Sky Leap, because if you're in a compromising position, let's say you used Falcu's Wing, you boosted up the board to cap an objective in TACOBs, you survived and you're not in combat, and then you just teleport away. Nice and easy. And the 18-inch move just makes you ridiculously fast, and you're already pretty ridiculously fast, and you'll have fleet as well, so yeah, that's really quick. Final option is the Eldar Jetbike, 15 points, same as the Wings. This is a 3+ armor save, a twin-linked shuriken catapult, which is the one weapon I forgot to look up. So it's a twin-link shuriken catapult. It's basically a guardian gun, As far as I'm aware, that's what it is. So, strength 4, AP 5, 18-inch range, rapid fire blade storm? We'll find out in about 3 seconds. Shuriken catapult, 12-inch range, strength 4, AP 5, assault 2, blade storm, which is pseudo rending. 6s to wound are auto wounds, regardless of toughness, and AP 2. So, decent gun. It's very short range, but you're on a jet bike, so I don't think you really care. You don't get a buff to your save. You get a point of toughness, but you don't get a buff to your save in the case of the Autarch, but it's still nice. What else does it do? Well, as an Eldar jet bike, which is what you become, you get a 36-inch turbo boost should you wish to use it instead of the normal one. And if you choose not to do that, you get basically a jetpack move. So you can move 2d6 inches in the assault phase if you didn't turbo boost, even if you did shoot or you arrived by deep strike in that turn. If you do so, you treat the terrain as you would if it were the movement phase. So that's probably the most powerful option. It always has been to take the Eldar jetpack. 15 points, it is good. And now we come to a really long list of complicated options. Or, actually, no, it's not that complicated. It could be better, but it's not that complicated. You may take one of the following: Banshee Mask or Mandiblasters. The Banshee Mask is 5 points, means you cause fear, and you cannot be overwatched. So units cannot fire overwatch at your units. Only one has to have a Banshee Mask for this to work. So you can stick this into a unit that wants to get into close combat but can't without getting shot to bits on Overwatch, and all of a sudden you can't be overwatched. This is 5 points to stick the middle finger to Tau, and I'm sure a lot of Eldar players would like to stick the middle finger to Tau. The Mandiblasters, your other option, are 10 points, and these are basically repeatable Hammer of Wrath. So, Hammer of Wrath works at the initiative 10 step, you do a hit at your strength to the unit. This works slightly differently. At the initiative 10 step, you deal a wound to a unit engaged with you, your choice. It is savable, so it's just do an AP nothing wound to a unit of your choosing that you are engaged in close combat with. If they're a gargantuan, they're only affected on a 6, and if you're in a challenge, you must allocate this to your opponent. Standard practice, really. Pretty good, probably slightly better. It depends really if you expect to win the combat in 1 round or whether you expect to win it in like 2 or 3. If you expect to win it in 1 round, Banshee Mask is better. If you expect to have to grind it out and you've got a tough unit, then Mandiblasters are better. You may replace that Shuriken pistol with a fusion pistol. This is a 6-inch range, strength 8 AP 1 pistol with Melter. Melter is basically useless because it'll be within 3 inches to actually make the blighter work. It's good. It's good, but it's got such a terrible range. Then again, the Shuriken pistol only has a 12-inch range, so it's not that much of a bad trade. It is 10 points. It's a little bit steep, but definitely worthwhile if you plan to be bombing around the board, although you do have haywire grenades as well if you really need the anti-tank. And then finally, you can take up to 2 weapons from the following list. This is where it gets a little bit confusing. So you may take a Scorpion Chainsword for 3 points. Strength +1, AP 6 melee weapon. Nice and easy. Swap out your basic sword for a AP 6 strength 4, in this case, sword. Fine. You may take an Avenger Shuriken Catapult or a Las Blaster for 5 points. That's why they're grouped like that, because that's the costings. Whoops. So make an Avenger Shuriken Catapult, 5 points. 18-inch range, strength 4, AP 5, assault 2 with Blade Storm. Pretty damn good. The Las Blaster is 24-inch range, strength 3, AP 5, assault 3, also 5 points. Pretty decent set of weapons there. Fit the Dire Avenger and the Swooping Hawk theme. A Death Spinner is 10 points, and that is 12-inch range, strength 6, AP dash, assault 2, monofilament. This is a warp spider webby weapon rule, which means that it rolls to wound against initiative instead of toughness, which is why strength 6 doesn't look so good anymore. You still use the toughness value for instant death to stop you one-shotting initiative 1 monstrous creatures. 6s to wound are also AP 2, unless your weapon is already AP 1, as it is in the case of the Spinneret rifle or some weapon that's got this rule. So this is really good basically for dealing with monsters, because monsters generally only have initiative 4 or 5, 3, 4, maybe even less, so you're going to be winning them on 2s instead of the 6s or 4s that strength 6 would normally get you. So pretty damn good. And 6 to wound being AP 2, nice. And it's not great against some infantry, because you're wounding on 3s instead of 2s, like other Eldar, but you don't really care that much. Fusion Gun, 10 points, and it's basically a melter gun. 12-inch range, strength 8, AP 1, assault 1, melter. Nice and easy. Decent gun, 10 points, can't really argue with that. If you're an Autarch Skyrunner, you may take a Laser Lance. This is a really cool little weapon. It has two profiles. At range, it is 6-inch range, strength 6, AP 3, assault 1, lance. Nice little ping before you go into melee, though you could also do this with a fusion gun because you have two weapon options. In melee, on the charge, it's a power weapon that gives you +3 strength, otherwise it's just a power weapon, i.e. AP 3, but in both cases it does actually have lance, so it will knock things down to armor 12. Although you're at the best going to be strength 6. Your actual strength is 3, +3 gives you 6, so it's not that good in combat, at least at using the lance special rule, although I don't think you'll always be glancing on 6s when you are charging. When you're not charging, just use your haywire grenades, it makes total sense. Let's take a power weapon for 15 points. Honestly, you only ever take this if you're not an Autarch Skyrunner, because if you're on a jet bike, you can have a power weapon with lance that's also got a charge bonus and a gun for 5 points less. If you're on foot, then yeah, you have to take a power weapon to get the AP 3. Final option, 25 points, a Reaper launcher with Star Swarm missiles. This is 48-inch range, strength 5, AP 3, heavy 2, i.e. I'm going to camp at the back of the board and blow Marines out of existence. Have fun, good night. Really nice gun, it's expensive and it does stop you from moving around using battle focus, etc, which is why it's quite costly. My favourite combo would probably be fusion gun laser lance, if I was mounted up. Otherwise, probably Death Spinner power sword could be really nice. Fusion pistol, don't forget the fusion pistol if you want the 2-weapon attack for power weapon fusion pistol, and maybe have a Scorpion chainsaw, you have 2 melee profiles. You have plenty of options, although the laser lance is probably the best one of the lot, because it's a cheap power weapon that also is better on the charge and has a gun. So if you're an Autarch Skyrunner, take it. Otherwise, don't bother. Fusion gun, one of my favourites. You also have haywire grenades for on the charge, so you don't need to take something that's good in close combat with vehicles. Although the Reaper launcher is a different niche all on its own. Autarchs are really good and really varied. They can do a load of different things, different options, up close, long range, agile, stationary. They're really versatile. But you don't see Autarchs all that often. Why? Farseers, that's bloody why. Farseers are 100 points, weapon skill, ballistic skill 5, strength 3, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 10, and no armor save. They do have an invulnerable save, which I'll come to in a minute. Skyrunners have toughness 4 and a 3-up armor save, as you might expect, and they're Eldar jetbike. So, unit composition of 1, obviously, infantry. With rune armor, this is a 4+ invulnerable save all the time. Unless you take the Spiritseer of a Nathwood. Oh, that reminds me, Autarchs can take relics. I forgot to mention that. Autarchs may take from the Remnants of Glory. We covered those in episode 1. Be sure to check out those. I really like Konus' bow. It's a really good one. You can also use Falku's wing in combination with the Sweeping Hawk wings if you expect to be able to bounce away. And a Banshee mask as well could be kind of fun in that combination if you plan to charge afterwards. Decent idea, just remember the remnants exist. Farseers, come back to them. Rune armor, 4+ invuln unless you have the Spirit Stone, which you should lose it to get a buff. Shuriken pistol, Rending Bolt pistol, nice. Witchblade, this is basically an Armorbane Fleshbane stabby stick. Strength user, AP nothing, Armorbane Fleshbane melee weapon. It's pretty terrible, but Armorbane and Fleshbane is still good. Bear in mind though, Armorbane, on average, you'll actually be rolling a 10, so you'll be glancing the weakest vehicles in the game, on average. Could do better, could do worse. Don't write home about it, you've only got 1 attack anyway. And a Ghost Helm, this is a cool little piece of war gear. You dodge a Perils wound by spending a spare warp charge point. So if you Perils and you take a wound, if you have a warp charge point that you haven't used yet, you can spend that, you don't take a wound, which is really kind of nice. Doesn't stop the extra effects from going off, such as, I don't know, forgetting a power or dying. But it's kind of useful in a way. You can also take a jetbike, we'll come back to that in a minute. Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Fleet if you're on foot, Independent Character, and Psyker level 3 base. Yeah, 100 points for a level 3 Psyker. What's the flip? Oh, and on top of that, Runes of the Farseer. Once each Psychic phase, a model with this special rule can reroll any number of dice used in a single Deny the Witch test or Psychic test, potentially dodging perils of the warp in the process. Yeah, flipping heck. So reroll to deny and 1 reroll to cast. And you can also use it to dodge perils if you roll too many 6s and you've already got the power off. This is an annoying special rule, but it shows how powerful Farseers can be. Discipline-wise, you get Santic Demonology, Divination, Runes of Fate, which you covered in episode 1, and Telepathy, i.e. 3 or 4 of the most powerful disciplines in the game. Santic is really good, Divination is excellent, Runes of Fate is really good, and Telepathy has Invisibility and Psychic Shriek, which makes it overpowered in a way. Options. You may replace your Witchblade with a Singing Spear. This basically is the same thing in melee. So strength use AP nothing, armor bane, flesh bane. But at range, you get a shooting attack, which is basically a strength 9, AP nothing, assault 1, flesh bane shot at 12 inches of range. Your best 5, so you'll hit most of the time. Strength 9 is good, and it's flesh bane just in case something's toughness 8 or toughness 10. But it is AP nothing, and there's nothing you can do about that. So probably not amazing, but it's 5 points. Why wouldn't you? Because it gives you another shooting attack. But of course, you can also upgrade to a Farseer Skyrunner, 15 points. You get the jet bike we mentioned earlier, which includes the 3+ armor save, underslung twin-linked shuriken catapult, which is a decent shooting attack for a Farseer, the boost, and the assault phase move. And this is toxic. Sorry, I'm going to start ranting if I'm not careful. May take items from Remnants of Glory. Is there anything you can't take from Remnants of Glory? That's probably a better way of looking at it. I think the answer is no. For may not be taken by a Farseer. Yeah, you're fine. There's nothing you can't take. So, it's all good. So yeah, Farseers are just really good. They're really powerful. They've got the best options for disciplines pretty much in the game with those powers. And they're only 30 points more than an Autarch. And if you think about an Autarch on a jet bike with a laser lance, he's 95, which is the same as a Farseer. And a Farseer is just infinitely better in many, many cases, which is really, really sad. I wish Autarchs were better. But you know what makes me foam at the mouth slightly more than Farseers? Bloody Warlock conclaves. Flip these guys. So, 35 points a model. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 8, no armor save. Skyrunners, toughness 4, and 3+ armor save instead. Basic composition is 1 dude, 1 warlock, with rune armor, a shuriken pistol, a witchblade, and the option for an Eldar jetbike, which will come back to you again. They have Ancient Doom, they have Battle Focus, if they're on foot they have Fleet, and they're also a Brotherhood of Psychers. However, this is also edited by the Communion of Minds special rule. A unit containing 1 to 3 Warlock/Warlock Skyrunners is Mastery level 1, 4 to 6 Mastery level 2, 7 or more Mastery level 3. You can go as high as 10. If a unit's Mastery level is reduced as the result of models dying, select 1 psychic power known to the unit for each level lost, and that power is immediately lost. So you can pick the worst power that you're not using and just ditch it. However, here's the difference. This unit generates 1 warp charge point at the beginning of each psychic phase for each Warlock or Skyrunner in the unit, regardless of Mastery level. That's, in theory, up to 10 warp charge dice out of a single unit. Considering the amount of warp charge 2 or 3 powers knocking around in the Farseer section, this just like, oh, free cast, and you can even mitigate some perils with the Ghost Helm and Runes of the Farseer. You won't be casting all that much with these guys. I mean, they've got Santic Demonology and Runes of Battle. Runes of Battle's decent, Santic Demonology's good, but it's basically just feeding the Farseer as many dice as they want. So like I say, up to 9 additional Warlocks to a total of 10, 35 points a model, max size unit is 350. Any model Meriwet's is Witchblade with a Singing Spear, 5 points a model, this is optional. But again, you may upgrade to Skyrunners for 15 points a model, which takes the unit cost up to 50 points a guy, and it must be the entire unit. So you can't have 5 up, 5 down, or something like that. Which is really terrifying that you've got 10 fast-moving warp charge dice on jet bikes, turbo boosting around like crazy. Ugh, I don't like Warlock Skyrunners. Warlock Conclaves, I think, are what makes Farseers downright busted. Because, yeah, Farseer is a level 3. That's decent. And you've got some other psychic knocking about. Not loads, but, oh, I'll take a Warlock Conclave for 1 HQ slot. Alright, it's going to cost me nearly 400 points. 10 warp charge dice. My Farseer can cast as much as they want. Screw you. Really annoying. And this also takes out of the game one of my favourite little things about this Codex, the Spiritseer. This is our final HQ unit for the day. He's 70 points. This is the same cost as a basic Autarch. And his weapon skill, ballistic skill 5, strength 3, toughness 3 with 2 wounds, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 9, and no armor save. Which is kind of cool. He's got rune armor, a shuriken pistol, and a witch staff, which is slightly different. So it's a witchblade, strength user, AP nothing, armor bane, flesh bane, melee weapon, but it also has soul blaze, which could be kind of nice, but you've only got 1 attack, you'll never be getting into melee anyway, nothing to write home about. His special rules, Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Fleet, Independent Character, Psycho Mastery level 2. Now, there's a typo in the version I've got here. It says it's a Farseer or Farseer Skyrunner generates from Demonology, Santic, Divination, Runes, Fate, Telepathy, not a Spiritseer. So I'm assuming a Spiritseer generates off the same disciplines, but until I get some clarification, because someone let me know in the comments, but I'm going to assume he has access to all those disciplines, which makes him basically a level 2 Farseer, which is kind of cool. His other rule is Spirit Mark. So basically, Wraith anything, Wraith Guard, Wraith Blades, Wraith Lords, Wraith Knights, and Hemlock Wraith Fighters reroll ones to hit against enemy units within 12 inches of a model with this special rule. So this basically means, oh, I'm going to stand my Spirits here 12 inches away from my enemy army, and my Wraith everything is going to annihilate it. Considering you have Falcu's Wing as an option in the Remnants of Glory, you have no other war gear option, but you may take the Remnants. You could use Falcu's Wing and play this guy in a suicide play. Teleport him up the board, preferably if he's got invisibility on, go for it, or give him invisibility. Teleport him up the board, and then watch your opponent cry as you're rerolling ones to hit with all of your Wraith everything, and you wreck their face and murder them. Spiritseers are a really nice combo. Pulling them off is probably quite difficult, but if you can, it's brilliant. But you'll never see it because it's always a Farseer and a Warlock conclave that will make up the core of the army, or it will be a Seer Council, and that's in the formations, and I'll have a whinge about that when that comes around. And that actually is all of the HQs. So, what do we think? Well, for me, the Autarch is woefully underused. He's got a bunch of options, some really cool ideas, and the Path of Command could be really useful in a reserve-based Eldar army using deep-striking swooping hawks, warp spiders, or rush-on jet bikes, wave serpents, and the like, but you'll never see him used, which is a real shame. If you were going to use him, I'd say Skyrunner with a laser lance is probably the best value option, but there's something to be said for swooping hawk wings with Falcu's Wing, and a bunch of ways to keep him alive if there are one, such as the Phoenix Gem, which means that if he gets charged in close combat, he has a chance to explode and come back with one remaining, win the combat, and then teleport out. You've got options for it. A Banshee Mask might also be helpful if you're going for the smack into close combat fashion. The Farseer is just really good. Even in a bubble, the Farseer is really good. 100 points for level 3 cycle with the best discipline access in the game is good. His only weakness, he's toughness 3 with no armor save. Oh wait, Skyrunners. Yeah, sorry. T4 now, got a 3-up armor, screw you. So Farseer Skyrunners are definitely the most powerful way to go, but I think everybody knew this already. In terms of what disciplines to generate from, honestly, I think it just depends on your personal playstyle. I mean, I would say Runes of Fate and Divination are the really powerful ones, but Telepathy has Invisibility and a Psychic Shriek as a good Primaris. Demonology Santic, it's a bit of a high risk for perils, but you've got Ghost Helms and Runes of the Farseer, so you could probably get away with it. Always hit the Singing Spear. Always go to Skyrunner. In terms of Remnant, Spirit Stone is a fun option, but beware you'll get sniped by rocket launchers in the face if that happens. You just know it. Warlock Conclaves, hate these things. They're just 40 points, free warp charge. 35 points, warp charge. 35 points, warp charge, warp charge, warp charge, warp charge. This doesn't stop them being a powerful psycho in and of themselves, because Runes of Battle is not a bad discipline. And Santic Demonology, as I said before, not a bad discipline. But it's feeding you warp charges for the Farseer, which they don't need because they've already got 3. And then I guess it's just because Runes of Fate, particularly, has some really high cast powers. And I think there's some like Vortex of Doom in Santic 2. So it's kind of nice to have that extra power going around. But could you not just make it that the number of dice scales with the mastery level? Not 1 per bloody model. It's just ludicrous on Dosed. Stop it. Maybe make it 1 per 2 models, rounding up. So 3 models gives out 2 warp charges, 5 models gives out 3. Could we just do something other than 1 per model? Because it's basically, alright, here goes a unit of Warlock Skyrunners. They're 50 points a model, but they give them a Farseer as many warp charges as they can need. Anything that's spare, I'll just use Runes of Battle and improve my armor save, or nerf your armor save. Haha, I've got a 2+ save now, screw you. So yeah, I don't like them, but they're just really good. And that means that you never get to use the Spiritseer, who probably is my favourite. And if I were running an Eldar army, I kind of like the idea of just a Falcu's Wing Spiritseer. Just whiz him up the board in the shooting phase, and then watch the Wraiths just rain hell upon your opponent, re-rolling ones to hit. And if you can get a Wraithblade charge to land at the same time, woohoo, that could be hilarious. Probably toxic if it was actually executed correctly, but If it worked, wow. If it didn't, no. But he's still got some good powers. I mean, you take telepathy, just take telepathy all the time. Mastery level 2 gives you access to invisibility. You can get that off and then use the wing. Block boost. And now I'm invisible. Have a nice day. Yeah, not fun. That is the end of the Eldar HQ section for this review. Next time, we're going to take a look at the troop section. So we've got Guardian Defenders, Storm Guardians, we've got Wind Riders, which is the jet bikes, Eldar Rangers, and Dire Avengers to look forward to. So, some interesting units coming up, and I think there'll be some interesting stuff to say there, although it may end up being another jet bike rant because Eldar jet bikes are just really, really good. Anyway, that's all for next time. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, and leave any comments down below. My name is Michael for Tactica Imperialis, and until the next time, see you all again. Bye for now.